everybody, welcome back to another episode Double M Racing. As you can see back there behind me, we got the frame and roll cage, the chassis I guess you call them, on the trailer loaded up. We're headed to drop it off at the shop that's going to be doing the repairs on it. So we're going to take you guys along with us for the ride. We made it safe and sound. So we'll get you guys put aside and get this thing unloaded. Should be gold. All right, so you've seen us messing with this thing in the jig. We got it loaded up and we found some issues. Originally I thought that our frame rail was just bent there, but after getting it in the jig, not lined up. See how far back that is. You can see the gaps are all off there. We're bent there. And what else do we? This is Mike Seitz, by the way. He's the one that's graciously helping out get this frame back into shape. That's the great thing about our class. He's a fellow Legends racer. Has 3 cars that he's got going here in the shop. One up on the lift, one over there, and
work in progress.
Work in progress over there.
From a little girl.
But our community of Legends drivers reaches out to help anybody they can, and Mike has reached out to us and is going to help us get this thing back into shape. So what else did we find? Obviously, we figured out that this front clip this has been reclipped at one point in time. These aren't factory welds. We're broken there. Yeah, none of that is factory. And it's also, what is it, short?
Yeah.
We are short. Yeah, you can tell it's been, and I didn't know enough about these to even look to see. I mean, that, to me, I would have known that wasn't factory. But it's broke there. We are tight in there, but you can see this gap here as well. We're tight there, or we're loose there. So this
It's just
the front end is cockeyed. It's out of shape.
Move over to the left.
And we don't know if that's for me. More than likely it is for me. That was a pretty violent flip, or if it was before. And we've also found damage in the rear. Mike's marking it there. We've got a broken weld there. This pipe is completely in half.
All the way around.
All the way around it. Where else did we find one? Did we find one up higher? No.
Where did we find one?
I think that was...
Nope. Didn't we find something here? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and right there we've got a crack there that you can see. So Mike's going to come in. What's your plan of attack on getting everything replaced that we need to replace? What all do we need to replace to begin with?
Well, you know, since the front clip is out of whack, and granted, I'm no professional by any means. I'm just here to help. Both of my other cars, one that I put my wife in and the one that I'm going to put my daughter in, me and another friend of mine, which he's really smart and really good, we decided you're going to cut all this stuff off on both of those cars. So I think that's what we're going to do here, just to make sure everything's square from this front firewall back.
And
because if you take and you measure from this point to that point back there on wheelbase or a certain place in the car, it's not going to be right from here to there, because this car is pinched over here, has a big gap on that side, pinched over there, and has a huge gap right there.
Right. And
So,
where can we find the numbers? Is there a place to go to look at all the numbers and measurements where it's supposed to be, according to INEX on their...
should be your 2023 INEX 600 rules.
And we went, you seen us in the time lapse with the tape measure and stuff. That's what we were doing there. We were measuring from the front of our, this is where your fender arm attaches and goes up there. I can't remember what.
Upper control arm.
Upper control arm goes in there.
Shock.
And
Motor mount.
motor mounts.
Driver.
Yeah. Supposed to be. Supposed to be. But yeah.
Steering rack.
Everything supposed to be in there. Yeah, that got ripped out. Everything is measured from the front of this big arm here back to different points on the chassis. But he drew a line right there, basically midpoint of this upper bar mount there, and they were all off. So that's whenever we made the determination. That one's
almost pretty darn close.
That one's an 1/8 off. The other side is the worst side, as far as being
shortened.
Yeah, it's short over there. So that's what made our determination to go ahead and chop this whole front end off.
That and the welds.
And rebuild it, and the welds. Yeah. That's pretty junky welds there. But this is probably something that you don't want to do without a jig, right? Or do you want to?
Well,
can you tackle this without a jig?
I know a lot of people probably tackle it without a jig, but where's the consistency of it?
Right.
If you don't do it in a jig.
Yep.
That's why both of those cars are built with a jig on this jig. You know, and after this year, that car's getting tore down and putting on this jig.
Yep. All right. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get it off the jig after seeing how bad out of whack it is. We're going to flip it up on its head end and start to cut.
It won't ever be again.
Won't ever be again. No, I'm not doing this again. I ain't going through this twice. But yeah, you can see even on this rail here, this rail's supposed to be in line with these bars here coming back, and it's got that whole thing pushed out. So I am definitely glad this is something that we didn't try to tackle in the other shop. Yeah, you can see there the broken weld. So Mike's gonna have his work cut out for him, trying to get this thing back in shape for us, but we definitely appreciate the help and appreciate the guidance, because this is definitely beyond my span of knowledge in these things. But all right, we'll get you guys back on time lapse and let you watch us get this thing up. All right. We couldn't fit any spacers in there before with the front rails the way they were. Now this thing sits in there perfect. We got the front clip cut off. Mike got the front clip cut off. I just watched. And that rear bar that was bent's cut off. Only thing he's got left to chop off is this rear here. Then it's putting new in, right? Putting new in.
Go to town on the new stuff.
That's right. All right. We're going to break for dinner and formulate a game plan. Come back after that. All right, boys and girls. We have got her in the jig, finally. We're running low on battery, so I didn't film a lot of the processes of us clamping it down because every car is going to be different. Basically on your jigs, which if you're lucky enough to know somebody with a jig, you know, they'll know all this stuff, but there's the blocks there that your frame rails need to be sitting down onto. So we had to clamp it in several spots around here to get it down to that area. We've only got one more area to cut off back here, and Mike's going to take care of that later. He can do that with it sitting right here, but that rail's cut out. He's already got it all grinded up to where he can set the new frame rail in there, sister it in, and get the bars welded back on. And like I said, they sit right on top of this line here. So that keeps that in line. And then the front, we've just got these in here. That's how that looks there. But that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna get some new railing. It's gonna go in there like so. And with his jig, he can put the steering mount there. We think that is bent. Well, we know it's bent a little bit. So he's gonna take that to one of our other friends and get that straightened up. And then we were having a problem with the front end coming up. So we put an old section of the frame rail in there and got that to sit down so we can keep the car down until he gets the pipe here to get that all welded up. But there she is in all her glory. We got her done, and Mike's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, ain't nothing.
Got your work cut out for you. Now, a couple questions. We got several viewers of the channel here that's either getting into Legends Racing or they're brand new into Legends Racing. When you're looking at cars, used cars, to get into Legends Racing, on these frames, you know, like this one, we don't know whether this frame was straight or not. What are some key areas that you want to inspect and look at on your frame whenever you're thinking about purchasing a used Legend car?
Well, you know, like you did, not saying anything of what the guy thought or might not have known, but was it straight?
We don't know.
You know, you've seen, I can't really say cobble work, but it was cobble work. Yeah,
and what he's talking about is the welds that we had up here. And that was something that I totally missed. That had been, somebody had replaced that front clip before. Yeah, and they didn't do a great job at getting it back together.
Your biggest deal is when you go to buy a car that's known, you know, kind of around the area.
Yeah.
Because then, you know, and Dave Comer's the best of the deal. I mean, he is the Legend car deal, but
he knows he's one of our local dealers. He knows what to look for on these things when he's buying them, and isn't going to sell something that isn't ready to go to somebody.
Right.
Probably, right?
Right. But he'll know exactly what to look for. I mean, there's certain things that you don't want just some hodgepodge car together. You want, you know, a good car put together.
Right.
Craftsmanship, I guess, is the biggest deal.
Yeah. Cool deal. And then other thing he's trying to talk to me in big boy conversions. This is asked. If you follow, you know, if you're new to Legends, I suggest that you get into, you know, on Facebook and join. There are several Legends groups nationwide where people talk about information. And big boy kit, that is one of the most confusing things to me, it seems like, to people that have no clue what Legends are or these Legends race cars. My car is not big boy converted. All of Mike's cars are. So while we've got an open cage here, show them what a big boy conversion does. What all do they have to do for a big boy conversion? You can see here in mine.
Good show.
Everything like there.
You know, everything here that you would know.
Yeah. Explain to them what they're looking at, because
this is not a big boy because it's in line here. If it's a big boy, it'd be 2.5 inches back, so it's almost or right above this shock tower. Now, if we go over here and look at this other car.
Look at that sparkle. Isn't that beautiful? This is his car he's building for his daughter. That is the prettiest frame. Prettiest frame I've seen.
You want to know what color that is?
What color is that?
That's Island Boy Blue.
It's an Island Boy.
And I tell you what, if you need anything sandblasted, powder coated, or anything, go to Super C. They can take it all off.
Super C. We'll put their link down in the description below. If you guys need anything powder coated in the local area, you guys that are watching from far away probably ain't gonna bring stuff down here, but
I'll do any frame whatsoever. You bring it, send it to me. I'll make her straight for you.
Yep. And I'll put Mike's information. I'll put email.
Whatever.
You know, contact information for Mike down there. This is something. These frames is something that he's looking to get into and make a business out of. There's not a lot of people in the area that does it, for us at least, in our area. And you know, on this frame, I got into something that I wasn't prepared to handle or equipped to handle. So having fellow racers in your area with the knowledge like Mike has, the equipment that Mike has to get it on the jig, you know, that just helps us out tremendously. But back to Big Boy. This car has the Big Boy conversion in it.
Yep.
So
you can see it's been scooted back almost right above your shock mount.
Brings your cross bracing bar back right above the shock mount. Yeah, and you can see this is, you can see how lean back that is there compared to mine, which is pretty much straight up and down.
Yeah, well here, this is how far it leans back.
So there you go. That's the gain in backness that you gain.
So it's if Fat Boy wants to get in this, I'm 6'4" and weigh 230, 235. I fit in either one of my cars. I fit in all three, but
that's a good point. I've been asked that several times. I'm 6'5", 220. Will I fit in this car?
Yeah, it's easily done. Just make sure, you know, the most common one is a big boy, you know, because a lot of people don't want to go through the work and do it. So they just rather have a big boy or buy one that's already. But this being leaned back that much, well, I mean, you can easily tell by just, you know, your center of line right there.
It may not seem like a lot of space, but that is a lot of space in these tiny cars. A lot of space. That gets you
12 if you want.
That gets you back away from the steering wheel a little bit and get your legs stretched out a little bit. Now, what's crazy that I didn't understand is that the bottom doesn't move at all. It is just the top, and it's insane how much more room it gets you. It also gets your head lower in your cage, you know, because if you were forward, your head may be up here at the top. So leaning back, it brings your head back here to where you've actually got more headroom for all you taller fellas. I'm not that tall.
Scoot your butt down to the ground and kind of scoots it forward.
Yeah, I'm not that tall, so I don't have to worry about that too much. But you bigger boys, definitely, it would be a tight fit if you tried to fit into a non-big boy.
I can't fit in a non-big boy.
Yeah.
That's why everything I own is big boy, and plus resales a lot better.
Yep. So there is the difference between a big boy and a non-big boy for all those that have been asking on that. But I want to say a big thank you to Mike.
We ain't done yet.
We ain't done, but man, this guy bought me dinner tonight. We had pizza. His wife picked it up. He's graciously opened up this amazing shop. This is probably every Legends racer's dream shop here. He's got 2 cars over here and one up on the lift and my car back behind that. So he's got plenty of room to work on these things. But he's graciously opened up his shop and his time and his family sharing him with me so we can get this all fixed and get us back out on the track. So, Michael, thank you.
You're welcome.
And
when we working on it next?
Well, whenever you give me the call. Whenever you give me the call, I'll be here. I'll be here. But we'll get this thing pieced back together, one piece at a time. And after we get the frame done, then we start bolting on all the new stuff and getting it ready to head back out on the track. So appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. This will be video 1 of this series. This is going to be a multi-video series on this one here. So stay tuned and keep track of progress.